Hey guys, what is going on? My name is NGS and thank you so much for clicking on the video. So the topic for today's discussion is, I guess you can call this sort of a continuation to a video I did a few weeks back talking about Mighty Number 9 getting delayed. And in that video, I briefly discussed Kickstarters, GoFundMe, crowdfunding in general, and a lot of the fears that I had for the format. Now, I really didn't drive the point home too far in that video, considering we were talking about Mighty Number 9. But there was this fear that I think not only I have, but I think a lot of people have. And that's if you can have somebody with a prolific resume as the guy who created Mega Man going to crowdfunding, what's to stop all of these companies from utilizing this platform? And what happened recently has, I guess, brought the discussion up once again, coming from the guys over at FUNimation, if you can believe it or not. So we're going to dive into it right now. We're going to be talking about the Kickstarter for The Vision of Escaflowne. Now, I originally wanted to make this video a few days ago when they announced the Kickstarter, but unfortunately, I was still getting over a really nasty sickness. My voice was not all there. So while what I say in this video might seem a bit dated, it might seem kind of moot, especially considering the Kickstarter goal has already been reached in just a few days. But I wanted to talk about this discussion in general because a lot of people in the community, be it Twitter, be it Anime News Network forum, what have you, they've been talking about this and it's caused a lot of people to be concerned. A little bit of a backstory for some of those who are unaware. A couple of years ago, with the ceasing of production of Bandai over here in the United States for anime, a lot of their titles basically were up for grabs. Some companies grabbed them, some didn't. And FUNimation in particular was the one who managed to snag a lot of the high-profile titles. They brought us Cowboy Bebop back in 2014 on Blu-ray, and they managed to snag Escaflowne as well. Now, normally we really wouldn't have this discussion. FUNimation would just release the series as is, right? I mean, the series has already been dubbed. It aired over here in the States on Fox, I think, I'm talking like 16 years ago, right? So what would stop them from releasing the series? According to FUNimation, for the 20th anniversary, they wanted to do it pretty big, and for the English dub release, they wanted to release it in the most pristine way possible. Since it's coming out on Blu-ray, and them releasing it completely unedited, there were a couple of scenes that never made it over here in the United States. They were edited for whatever reason on TV. There were some deleted behind the scenes. I don't exactly know the full scope of it, considering I'm not a huge fan of Escaflowne. I mean, I've seen the series when it aired on TV, but I'm just going off of what I know. Basically, there was like, I think 10 minutes worth of footage that never made it into the English version of the show. And FUNimation, considering that there's no dub for that, they wanted to not only dub those scenes, but keep it consistent and redub the entire series. Now, on paper, this sounds like a pretty awesome idea. It seriously does, because you don't see this treatment happen too often. But what's really pissed off a lot of people is the way they're going about this. They're using Kickstarter, and not Kickstarter in the way that you're expecting. When you think Kickstarter, you're thinking, oh, okay, we're going to fund the production of this. No, FUNimation is using Kickstarter as sort of a way to gauge interest from fans. They want to see if the fans really do love Escaflowne as much as they say they do. And this right here has pissed a ton of people off for various reasons that, for the most part, I would agree with. First and foremost, I want to point out some things. According to FUNimation, the $150,000 goal, the stretch goal right here, which is the bare minimum for them to redub the series, that is not the amount for the production of the series. Dubs are pretty expensive over here in the United States, and this $150,000 is not going to fund the entire production. This is just for them to see if it's really worth it. And as you can see, in just a couple of days, they've reached that goal. So I think it's safe to say that the fans really do want to see Escaflowne, be it a brand new redub of the series, or they just want to have the series out on Blu-ray. This is a series that they want to see. Now, there are a couple of things that I do have to also point out. First and foremost, FUNimation is not using this Kickstarter as a way to, how do I say this? Like, if you don't contribute to this Kickstarter, you're not going to get this product. This is the only way we're releasing it in the States. No, originally they were going to release it sub only. They weren't going to redub it. They were just going to put it out on subtitles. But considering they have this opportunity to want to dub the new series, they said, hey, let's take a chance and let's go for it. And since they've already succeeded in that goal, we're going to be getting a brand new dub from Funimation. And I'm not going to sit here and read off all the things about the Kickstarter and the perks and the rewards and the stretch goals and all that stuff, because you guys can read that yourself. You can see it down below in the video description. But this is something that I definitely do want to talk about because it's something that does cause concern for a lot of individuals. So first and foremost, was this really necessary? Was Funimation creating a Kickstarter for Escaflowne really necessary? To be honest, just going off of what I know, I do not think it was necessary for many reasons. First and foremost, Escaflowne, while it's not one of like the most majorly hyped up anime that people talk about, it is still one of the most hyped up series coming from the Bandai catalog. There was an interview that was done here, courtesy of Anime News Network, and they were talking, this was done a couple of years ago with the Bandai Namco downsizing. They were talking about all of their licenses like Gurren Lagann, Code Geass, and which are the ones that were most successful. Of course, Cowboy Bebop, no shock to anyone, was successful. You also have Escaflowne, though, and Outlaw Star, and Haruhi, and Gundam. Like, these are all really important series. And if the sales for Cowboy Bebop on Blu-ray on Amazon are to be used as any indication, of course there were going to be people who would buy this. Like, it's one of the most popular series. Do not underestimate anime fans when it comes to series that ain't available anymore in the United States. Like, they will shell out tooth and nail for a series that they want to see. Be it good, be it bad. If they want it, they will support it. So I don't think that this was necessary to gauge whether or not people wanted to see Escaflowne. Like, it's a series that people have wanted to come back for a while. People have wanted this out on Blu-ray. So coming from me and my perspective and what I've seen, I don't think it was necessary. But, you know, Funimation is a business. To play devil's advocate, me being the business major that I am, I can see where they would consider this a risk. But that's all I can consider. That is literally the extent that I will go to consider it a risk. It's a series that is, 20 years old, and they don't know if people want it. That's all I'm going to give them. Because what we know so far is that people will support the series if they want to see it. Like, this isn't a case of, oh, you have 100 people on a forum who want to see something and only 10 people buying it. That is not the case, because we have examples in the past of anime fans actually voting with their wallets and getting what they want. So to me, that didn't really make any sense. And another thing that's caused a lot of concerns for some individuals is that the dub of the series, we don't know yet exactly how this is going to work. Wow, you can already see that the price is already, not the price, the stretch goal has already gone up a bit. Escaflowne was dubbed 15 years ago by Ocean. And since it's been so long, a lot of people are wondering, are Ocean voice actors going to come back for this redub? Are they going to come back and redub the scenes? What are they going to do? To be honest, unless Funimation's put out an update here that I am not seeing, I don't think that the Ocean cast is going to come back. I think this is going to be completely in-house. Funimation has utilized their own voice actors for its production, which for a lot of fans of the series, I can see this as being a big concern, because when you get used to a lot of voices, all of a sudden you see that they're not coming back for the series. It's kind of like, what, really? But again, devil's advocate, being the business major that I am, maybe it's more expensive for them to outsource it to Ocean and get all those voice actors back, because like I said, they dubbed this thing 16 years ago. Not a lot of people are going to come back for a series 16 plus years unless it's consistent, like a Dragon Ball Z, where you're always doing something. So maybe it's not cost effective for them to get out here and bring all of these people back. I mean, all these people from way back when, they've probably moved on with their lives and done different things, gone into different professions. Even some of the ones that are still around, I'm pretty sure that they're going where the money is, and that's most likely California. And of course, you might be able to get one or two of the individuals back, but is that really worth it? You got to ask yourself that at the end of the day. Anime does not pay a lot of money for voice acting. Shocker right there. So maybe it's not worth a person coming over from Canada to Texas, from California to Texas. You get what I'm saying. So if there is a new dub, which most likely there is, there you go. One thing though that I do want to talk about that is kind of, I will say this is kind of sketchy, especially considering the re-release. The only way for you to get the original dub of the series, I'm talking about the Ocean Studios production, is to do it through Kickstarter, and that's by pledging $175 or more. Now, I know you get all of these special bonuses right here, like the chipboard box and the soundtrack and all that, blah, 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 blah. But I think that is kind of messed up that, you know, you can't buy the original dub anymore. It's only going to be included on this backer set. I think that does kind of suck. But regardless of that, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Kickstarter for the Vision of Escaflowne, a new high-definition dub for the classic anime. As you can see, Funimation, they've already gotten their money to gauge whether or not this series is going to be a success, so this is going forward. It's really not surprising to me and a lot of other anime fans out there, considering what this series is and what it means for the Bandai folks out there. I don't know if this is going to be a consistent thing that Funimation is going to do. Who knows? Who's to say? Because, you know, these companies, if they see something is working and it's successful, who's to say that's going to stop them from doing this sort of thing in the long run? I mean, this is a business. They're going to go wherever the money's showing them, which is why we're seeing more ecchi series and seeing a lot of boobs in Funimation series, and a lot of their thumbnails in particular are from very suggestive camera angles. I ain't trying to say anything, but you know what I'm saying. That's where the money's coming from, and well, I don't want to blame myself because I don't buy those series, but, you know, people support what they want, and that's what Funimation sees. Boobs. Boobs. Boobies for the win. Me, myself, and I, if they were ever going to do a Kickstarter because they want to see if something there was enough support for it, I think they should do it for the Detective Conan movies, because that is a genuine fact. There are so few Detective Conan fans over here in the States that if you were going to do a Kickstarter, you damn well know we would support that ish. Day freaking one. Don't dub the series, just give us the movies. I don't care what you got to do. I seriously don't. That is a series that would make sense having a Kickstarter. But this, man, oh well. Anyway, from me to you for now, my name is NGS signing out, and like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace. It did not stop recording. Wow.